We live in an age where those in power are openly using every weapon at their disposal to impose their will upon the future. Where the principles of authoritarianism and individualism stand in open conflict in the streets, in the courts, in the news, in everyday life. Where the choices we make and the choices that are made for us have consequences no one can foresee. You do not stand alone. You do not fight alone. You do not suffer alone. We are united. We resist. We are here with you. As long as there is a truth that remains hidden, as long as lies are spread openly, we will continue to speak out. We will continue to question. We will continue to be the united resistance.
Same thing we always do. Fight them until we can't.
Oh, yes, that's right. We are fighting them until we can't. You know, boy, it's a big week because, we have my cell phone ringing for one. Like how I do that right off the cuff, you guys. Come on. Like silencing this thing is a chore. But it's a big week. We have the debate coming up. And I think we all know what's going to happen in that debate. Everything's trending except for the fake news polls that President Trump's going to mop the floor with Biden, and I'm there to see it. Because at this point, well, it's like watching a train wreck on wheels when it comes to Biden. And, President Trump is sorry about that, guys. We're back. My computer decided to drop and do a reboot on its own. So that's lovely. And interestingly enough, it's right when I'm talking about the debates and everything else, which is just food for thought, actually. Given the fact that, yes, Godzillionaire says it's what you get for using a globalist computer. And you're not wrong, because what are most gaming PCs right now Windows based? So you're not wrong. Maybe that's the sign that I need to get a Linux based computer. Shawnee Step is here. The Time Prophet's here. Papa Cotton's here. Hail to Shawnee Step. Hail to my boy Terminus. Terminus is at the house. Ruben, who I miss, is also in the house. What up, Ruben? Dwayne is here. Rita is here. Great to see you, love. Great to see you. And, we're just we're just rolling across the board. I've got my people. I have my people. And you guys are not just my people, but you are my support network. And I always want you to know that and remember that. I do want to highlight a comment. This is the pinned comment right now. We have a new tipping option if you want to help support the channel and everything else. Usually I have my PayPal pinned, whatever. This now also works at the behest of a number of folks. I finally decided to get a Cash App. If you would like to help via Cash App, obviously, I can cash out quickly and easily on there, and it does help keep the lights on, literally keep the lights on, and pay the rent. As, of course, right now, I am facing quite the bit of hardship. But if you would like to help via Cash App, you can. And as always, thank you for your support and continued just patronage of this channel. I'm surprised, guys, that we haven't gone through what Wes has, and because he just got nuked, and what a lot of other Patriot channels and creators that kind of stick to their guns and don't decide to fall within the realm of entertainment or something else, but stick to their guns and tell you what's going on. They've been nuked out of existence, but somehow United Resistance has kept on. Part of that is because, yes, I took a sabbatical. I know that. And right now I'm under the radar. Yes, the former man that went and reported live from J6. I am still under the radar. So yeah, you didn't hear that, IRS and ATF and people of that nature, but no. Hail to Tiny Metal Trees. And of course, I know I said what's up to you earlier, Big John, but what's up? Great to see you, big buddy. Resolute Germ is here. Great to see you. No lie, I have heard I'm on no less than 2. The rumor is I'm on no less than 2. And it's funny that you asked that, Godzillionaire, because supposedly, what I have heard through the grapevine about myself is that myself and our late co-host of the podcast, Will, it was just me and Will. We were on a watch list for, quote, domestic terror. I kid you not. One of those being, the obvious, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And I'm wondering if there also isn't the IRS or the ATF or the NSA. You take your pick. And I know for a fact that I have heard rumblings that yours truly and Will were on the FBI watch list. How true that is, I do not know. Okay, but I heard it that supposedly somebody did a background check and found Will and I on an FBI watch list. But to date, nobody has knocked on the door at the old house when I lived with Mom, and nobody's knocked on the door here at Casa de Drew at the apartment. So, take from that what you will. I don't know. If they do knock on the door, then so be it. Janet is here. Hail to you, honey. Great to see you. And, oh my gosh, people are never going to stop calling me. Hold on 1 second, guys. Ugh. I hate to do this to you guys. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, the the person that I am sort of now, I want to be very careful because I don't really define it. We're seeing one another. We've been out a couple times together. A former coworker of mine. She's really pretty. She just called me. So, just don't get any dogs for the dog's sake. Why am I not getting any pets, you guys? You guys already know I have the cats. I can't get rid of them. They are my loyal buddies. They're the kids for now. Till I actually have real ones. They are the kids for now. But yeah, Ruben remembers the cats. YouTube and chill phone call. Oh, it's not that Godzillionaire. I will say this, hail to Whatever Gaming. Hail. Great to see you. Speaking of Miss Janet from another planet, and props to you, Janet, because I've heard that you've been blowing up and you've been doing a great job. And this show misses you. I miss you. And we absolutely dearly need to catch up. And, you need to somehow make an appearance sometime soon. Because I want to get as many of the old crew together as I can. Don't get a joint account ever. No. Listen. Okay. Let me tell you this about modern dating. All right. If you're lucky enough to find a woman like Janet, if you will, or, like the current gal that I'm talking to, has God in their heart, will respect a man, and will be thoughtful because they think beyond themselves. That's lucky. But you don't find that now. So many of us in the modern way of dating, we run into a transactional relationship, if you will. and I'm not going to take this time to bash women, but I am going to keep it real. I always do, and nothing's changing about that now. So let me say this, and this isn't all women, but it is an epidemic among women right now. There are ridiculous standards that differ from how our parents met one another and how our parents looked at one another. They looked at each other for qualities and built together instead of expecting and feeling entitled to being coddled and carried. Being coddled and carried. And that's what so much in the modern dating world is, from the female standpoint, is they want a man, they look at a man like a walking wallet. They don't look at them for the qualities, or ask, is he a good father? Is he a solid husband? Is he someone that I can get emotional nurturing from and my needs met? No, they look at the simple dollar signs first. That is why on the rise now you see so many divorces, because what are these gals being taught? Oh, go get the bag, girl. Go get the bag, girl. And what are they doing? They're marrying these guys. They're sitting there not bringing anything to the table, and then they sit there and expect, okay, I want money for this. I want you to pay for my car. I want you to pay my bills. I want you to pay everything else, and I want half. If the guy fails to deliver on that, well, they're donezo. The woman just moves on to bigger and better. And meanwhile, while she's with that man, she's always got one eye open for what she considers better. I want a better power dynamic guy. I want a more, financially well-off guy. And they will sit there and leave a great person high and dry just to, quote, get the bag. And let's think about that. Hail to Philip Gaming. Whatever Gaming asks, want to do a live on the Trump debate. Yes, actually, Wes, I think if Thursday night I can do that, I think that absolutely we should join forces for that. That is what happens. And look, Janet's correct too. It does happen to women too. But there's a major epidemic going on right now from females toward guys. And again, our social standards, what is the lowest common denominator? Social media. What has it done? It is amplified vanity times a million. It has also fed a lot of bullshit social standard into the ether, where it's turned people narcissistic, it's turned people materialistic to a ridiculous degree, and it's introduced standards into the dating world that are completely and utterly warped. I mean, it worked. How can you find a true soulmate? How can you find a twin flame, a good partner, if you're centered on what they have instead of what they do for your head, for your heart? Men and women should want to build together. But the differences between men and women are celebrated instead of the qualities that we share. Our differences are celebrated. Our differences, yes, they're good. They're good because that's the reason we both need each other. But The differences are put out there in such a way that we're made to dislike one another. It's always got to be, oh, we don't need men. The feminist movement, that the bullshit activism level has gone over the top. It has turned, a number of women into man haters. And, the safety mechanism that guys have had now have just said, well, if the game is rigged, if the game sucks, I'm just not going to play. They'll sit there in a bachelor pad, they'll sit back, they'll game, they'll hang out with their buddies, and they'll be perfectly happy. Give me a good cat, a good dog, my buddies, some alcohol, a game to take my attention, or whatever hobby I have that fills me up, and I'm good. And I'll just, in my other time, I will work, bring home the money I need to survive. They're not dealing with the BS. And, it's sad to see, but guys are catching on to it that, they'd rather be alone than be abused. And in turn, they've seen a lot of videos on TikTok pop up lately with all the women saying, where did all the men go? Why are nobody asking me out? Well, sometimes you have to look inward. And again, I want to preface it and say, look, I'm not going to generalize all women, because there's a ton of great women out there. The women in this very room, Rita, Janet, those are great women. But there's so many problems with the dating world these days. And I feel for people out there trying to find that. And yours truly has gone through it. I mean, you guys know, a year and a half ago, I thought that, I sealed the deal. I found my person and everything else. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely still love her and that little boy, and I miss them like you wouldn't believe. But she was just believing in her own head. She was doing it for her kid and for stability. But as soon as the money ran out, she ran out. And, it's sad. It's sad that is the great dictator of all. What can you give me instead of looking at, man, that person really enriches my life? And I feel for her and her kid, because they lost a great person. They really did. But I can't sit here and live in the past. And personally, I know I have to put myself first and continue on the rise. So, and I'm going to do that. But, I just, in case you guys haven't heard the news, I know the last episode I was telling you guys about what was going on in the legal arena. I had this corporation that owns this very apartment complex suing me for an eviction, which, by the way, I did win. I got them to drop their case. Defending myself, I got them to drop their case. I made a deal with the opposing lawyer, and I gave up a lot, but I also still won. Now, the agreement is I have to pay $300 a week, and also my rent by the second or third of every month, in order to stay out the rest of my lease and not be evicted. And if I don't, then I'm supposed to vacate in 5 days, no questions asked, if I can't if I miss any of those payments. But in return, I got them to drop their suit. And that was a win in itself, because never in a million years did I think one man is going to beat a corporation. And technically I did. So that was how that went. How I'm going to make it happen is another thing entirely, because I'm still looking for active employment. I'm still trying to get that together. But the point is, at least I won. And it shows that, yeah, a guy actually can stand against a corporation. But I will say this. If you guys can out there live in a home, live in a home. Because this renting shit, they continue to price people out. I just got a notice that they are upping all of our rent in these complexes by $50 starting next month. If you're in a lease, they're not upping it until you renew. But for people that are month to month, it's going to break people's backs. And I'm telling you right now, guys, we're just jumping from topic to topic, but on the homeless crisis front, man, it is bad. Yeah, we talked a lot about the homeless crisis last week. How did that come about? It came about from what you see here. Corporations own these places now. They own these complexes because they bought out private landlords. So corporations own these, and they have no mercy, because who owns those corporations? Bigger corporations. BlackRock, so on and so forth. They all own these corporations that own these companies, because that's how they hold all this property across the United States. So they're trying to price people out of these places. And what are they going to turn around and do? They're going to raise rents. They're going to make them, quote, luxury apartments, so that they can get even higher rents. And only people of a certain income level, the very rich, will be able to live in them. People like you and me, average blue-collar people, will be relegated to what? Pod living or wandering the streets till we get arrested or shot. It is becoming almost like Logan's Run out there when you think about it. I mean, it is absolutely crazy. But the renting situation, and I can tell you this from, experience right now, you guys, is not well. So if you have to rent, just know that it is very hard, unless you can happen to rent a house from a private landlord. There still are some, but they are few and far between. So I can just tell you, I wish you luck in that, because renting anymore is becoming an impossibility. So back to what's happening in the debates. As I said, I think President Trump is going to mop the floor in these debates with Biden, and Biden, God, he is just not able to formulate sentences. The guy is in bad shape. Now, they might put out the Biden impersonator, the guy wearing the mask, whatever, it looks just like him. But I don't even think that guy's going to, get get over one on President Trump. President Trump's just too good. And everybody likes President Trump because he says what the hell's on his mind. So interestingly, I just saw across my timeline, if it came out, would you watch it? Freddy versus Jason 2. And I just got to say it since I'm wearing a Friday the 13th shirt. Yes, I would very much watch that if that ever happened. But I know that's not going to happen because modern Hollywood give us something good? No. I will say, they do not cater to the fans anymore. They do not try to actually entertain people. They just want to scold and mold. That's all they want to do, scold and mold. But it's a great thought. I would watch Freddy versus Jason 2 in a heartbeat because I loved Freddy versus Jason. I thought that was awesome. I'm concerned about replacement theory. We talk about the way that the border is and why we have a problem. I'm really concerned that since they're on to the electronic ballots and the way that they cheated the last time, I'm afraid that we are going to see an 11th hour shift because all these undocumented that got registered to vote are coming in and just stealing it. And I think that was the idea from the beginning, which is why they left the border open and why this whole thing happened. It was replacement, partially replacement. And I do think that a lot of it is secret terror cells coming in to be activated and run amok. I do think that. But largely, it's simple replacement of citizenry and simple replacement of voting bases. So, yes, they're still cheating because they're breaking the law, but they're not cheating with, actual ballots. But they're still going to cheat. And that's exactly why we had a rush on the border. That's exactly why it stayed open. They knew exactly what they've been doing. God, it just makes me so sick. Because and I know so many people have been waking up. Yeah, I'm proud of the minority communities. Have you guys seen Latinos for Trump lately? Have you seen the, I like the one shirt that I saw on my Twitter. Here's this one black dude that had a shirt, and he was talking about it too. There was a video. It showed the guy, he was wearing the shirt he was talking about. He was like, N-word, like, and I'm talking the hood slang style of the N-word for Trump. And he was talking about it. He's like, the hood is starting to get behind what's up. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. The people are finally starting to wake up and know what's up, but I still think it's too late because we had that run of people that just came in, continue to flood in over the border, the invasion. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's like just having a tsunami that you can't stop. And that's exactly what happened. It was a border tsunami. And I think it's one of the highest crimes or highest cases of treason in American history. I really do. And guess what? The entire communist wing of the Democratic Party is to blame. They are the perpetrators. The Communist Party of America, the Democratic Party themselves, they're the perpetrators of this. But I hope I'm wrong, and I hope come election day that we can have a 180 happen, an intervention in all of this, and turn our country around. Because for God's sakes, we need it. The economy needs it. I mean, it's just so, right now it's hard to live for everybody. I could sit here, honestly, you guys, and write you a book on how to survive on just bare bones. I could. That's crazy. The Time Prophet says, if the Mexicans are coming into America, why don't all the Americans go and live in Mexico? I mean, it must be empty now. It's funny, dude. The other countries don't want to let our citizens in, but we're supposed to just keep it open for them. And hail, by the way, to Tehila. Great to see you. And Philip Gaming's in the house. It says, dog meat. Forgot to mention my pal, a low-spec Linux laptop, is in the house. Great to see you as well. Yeah, Phil, the debate is on CNN. I fully expect that that, of course, and we already know this, it's biased. The mainstream media period, Fox News is the same way. Fox News sucks. No. I mean, if you try to watch Fox News, other than I used to love watching Gutfeld. I occasionally watch Gutfeld just for the comedy factor. But otherwise, I don't watch Fox News anymore. Not after what they did to Tucker. I watch Tucker's independent shit because it's way better. I watch the independent stuff that, shout out to my mentor, Laura Logan. I watch her stuff. Ivory Hecker, Laura Logan, Tucker, Russell Brand's been on fire lately. I still watch Alex Jones every so often. I watch InfoWars more these days for Chase Geyser, for Chase that was on our show, than I do for Alex, because I'm really proud of Chase and how far he's come. But I have my go-to sources for independent news because I trust that I'm going to get more news from them than I'm ever going to get from the television. I'm sick of it. I won't watch it. Time Prophet says the WEF taking over the world. Labor about to win an election in Britain, and Labor are WEF puppets. Yes, they are. Dwayne says, look it up. In 49 state welfare offices are handing out voter cards, no proof of citizenship or anything else to prove you have a valid right to vote. That is correct also. Wes says, the internationalists have taken over America. Yes, they have. And by the way, make sure if you haven't checked out Wes's Rumble channel, please do. Wes has since moved his content. That the more of the current events content and the off the cuff type of discussion that you guys love. He's taken it exclusively over to Rumble, and he does a little gaming over there. Sometimes still a little gaming over here, but for now, the content that matters is on Rumble, and I would like to see everybody sign up to and support Wes's Rumble channel because, man, people like Wes and I are the grassroots voice of independent thought. And I want to keep that support going as much as possible. Thoughts on the Dr. Disrespect situation? Now, but I've talked to you guys many times about before I really leaned into YouTube. I started on Twitch. And that was just when Dr. Disrespect was taken off, a lot of other streamers that you now know on Twitch that are popular were taking off. And when someone achieves a plateau of success, and especially if they do it in a way where they don't kowtow to the man and they don't kowtow to the corporations per se. They keep their style, they keep their way of doing it, and whatever consequences come, that be damned. I have my thoughts on Doc, and yes, look, we know at the core of Doc's character, it's a guy that was a not known actor from California playing a role, and he just happened to come along and score the great role of streamer. And Doc became a household name. I do believe Doc's a good family man. I do believe that he is a solid dude. I don't agree with some of his decisions in the past to support certain products or certain sponsors, but I get it. In the end, for a lot of people, this particular medium, content creation is a revenue stream. They're putting food on the table. They're keeping the lights on. I understand that. If you can get the bag by doing so, I get it. But if you're going to come up, stay true to what you stand on and stay true to who you are or to what your character is. If you're playing a character, just don't deviate it. But I do believe Doc, at his core, is a good family man. I do believe that he wouldn't ever do that to children. He has children of his own. I think a lot of people are clout chasing. I think a lot of people are trying to drag the dude through the mud that don't know the story. Remember, I was working for Bounding when this stuff happened, folks. I wrote articles about the original things when these accusations, when Twitch banned him. Okay? So I don't believe heart of hearts and seeing who the guy is behind Dr. Disrespect, I don't believe Doc is that kind of dude. I don't. I don't believe he's the Hollywood pedo type. I will give him that credit. But, I mean, that's my take on it. I just think this is a lot of clout chasing. I think this is like some dudes on Twitter and Twitch trying to gain an audience out of this. And how many times have we seen this amongst the YouTube community that we ourselves are in? You guys have seen this real time. Some dude makes it, and then a bunch of scandals follow because you got people wanting to come up at the expense of having somebody's name in their mouth. Or the reverse happens, and the big timer that makes it starts punching down on people trying to get bigger by doing so. So there's a reverse clout chase and a clout chase. It can happen both ways. But we've seen shit like this happen in this very community. But I think at the end of the day, what Wes makes a great point about it right here. I don't think there's all that much serious to it. I think what it is, and you're going to find this out, is it's clout chase all the way. So I really don't believe that, Doc may lose a few sponsors or whatever, but I think in the end, he's going to be vindicated and everything's going to be fine. Because I just don't think, personally, from what I know about the man, I don't think he's that kind of dude. So that's that. Moving back towards current events, you guys, I'm concerned about a few things. And this, I didn't necessarily get to talk about this the last time we were live, but you do know that we had warships as close to Florida as Cuba. And whether they were Russian warships, whatever, the thing is, are we being played into a World War III? That's the scenario that I think we shouldn't lose sight of and we should ask questions about. Because I believe that we are. I believe we are being psyoped that way. I believe that the people in charge of the agenda are pushing it that way because we are discovering the agenda way too fast. And they are scared as all get out that they can't control us. And that we are going to take back control of what's rightfully ours, our own country, and instill the principles that the founding fathers instilled to begin with. That is very likely. But I do believe Russia and some of the other BRICS countries are being gaslit into an escalated conflict with us and our allies in order to facilitate a world war. So I am very concerned, especially when you see reports that some of these encounters with these warships are happening just within point blank range of major cities. That bothers me. I know many of you, we've talked about it. Many of you are convinced World War III is coming. I get it. And I don't think you're wrong for thinking that. I don't. It's a concern. I do hope, as a people, that we can turn our country around. We need to stand up. And the bottom line of all of this is I worry about not folks like you who watch this program. It's the folks that live around us that don't watch programs like these and don't have the stomach or the heart to do what it takes. And you know what I mean by do what it takes, because people understood when we were under tyrannical rule years ago, years and years ago. What was the answer? 1776. We stood up and fought back. We fought a revolution. And that revolution has to happen again. Take that for what you will. I'm sure the CIA or FBI, if they're listening, hi, boys and girls, they're going to love that statement. But I'm never going to BS you. This program, I'm always going to be real with you, and I'm always going to speak truth. And nothing short of a revolution is going to fix this. So, at any rate, we'll go through some of the last comments here, and we're going to wrap it up. Time Prophet says, apparently people have found out that the trials from airplanes are being sealed with chemicals to destroy produce. Then they blame global warming. Yes. Keep hearing no matter who wins in November, there will be a civil war. They're going to try for a civil war, but I don't think a civil war is going to happen, John, only because there are too many awake people that see through the psyop. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't feel like a civil war is going to happen. Wes, you're going to have to send me the link to the full interview. I've seen bits and pieces. And perhaps on a future stream, we can sit down and discuss Stephen Greer. I'm in a mixed camp on Stephen Greer, but we can discuss that at a later time for sure. Time Prophet says, I think it was a bad idea when actors start speaking without a script. Yes. All right. Well, go ahead and just DM me the link. I'll check that out. But I do want to say again, folks, because it's a bit of an abbreviated show today. I've got a ton going on this evening. I've got company coming over. I've got a lot of cleaning here to do. If I don't find work in the next 48 hours, I may have packing to do. So there's always something happening. I am very grateful for your presence here. Thank you for coming out, supporting United Resistance, and supporting my channel. And I'm glad that I'm back into doing it. Will would have been happy that the show is going on. He would have. And good night to you as well, Time Prophet. I'm glad that this came back in some form or fashion because it needed to. I'm hoping that in the following weeks, we can get some of the old crew back together. Hopefully I can catch up again with Janet. I can catch up with Tobat. We'll try to start getting some guests on. I do want to keep this more as a proper podcast and sort of just, talk about a subject every week. But for the first couple of weeks, we've been bouncing around, and that's fine. Because you know what? It's just great to talk to my people, and you guys are that. Never forget that. We are all the resistance together. And that's the only way that we're going to win, is stay united. All right, folks, until next week, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I'm going to try to continue to do this on Tuesdays. But if not, if I know that I can't go live, or if I happen to be working, I will pre-record and we will come out with it in the same time slot on Tuesday at around 6:45, 6:50 p.m. We'll just run a pre-recorded, and one of us will be in the chat to interact with you, which will be awesome. And shout out to my awesome mods, everybody that is wrenching. Thank you so much, Papa Cotton. Love you. And Tehillim, love you. Godzillionaire, love you. Wes, thank you. It just, all of you guys that do that, I appreciate it. So don't ever think that you ain't family, because I appreciate you. Janet, thank you for wrenching as well. Oh man, it's just, I'm so glad that everybody came out. It makes all the difference in the world to see you guys. It really does. And we're going to need to, in the coming days, really start to kind of lean on each other. So all right, folks. I will catch you guys next week. Take care. Good night. Drew always forgets the buttons. He always forgets the right buttons.